私に報告か？聞こう。
だから言ったろ。あいつは信じてくれなかったけどな。
次はあの子たちと銀行ごっこをしようかしら。おっしゃる通りです。
子供たちは今頃どうしているだろうか。まあ、好きにすればいい。権限
捕まえた。見切りました。稲光、すなわち永遠なり。しっふっふんはっストップふっはっへっふん。
星と深無事今日の依頼星と深淵
難攻不落。
よいしょ。ほっ。早く。それ。 急がないと。逃がさない。やっほっ行け。ほっ行こうよ、陣営のごとく。ディアふっよっ晴天です。 裁きの雷。
光り輝くがいい。
勝利をしてやる。お前の罪を。審判の時だ。はっ。
ここより弱滅の時。はっはっ。たって
世界を熱狂の渦に僕を叩き。痛いよ痛い。やめて。
判決からは逃れられない。たはっ。か罪を償うがいい。
逃げ道はあります。
光り輝くがいい。動かないでね。
稲光、すなわち永遠なり。しっはっやっ裁きの雷。ふんふっはって
そら世界を熱狂の渦に。せーの。はっは
逃げ場はないぞ。勝利をしてやる。お前の罪を。ふんたた審判の時だ。ふん
逃げ道はあります。
お披露目だ。
無我の境地。やっふっ見切りました。
歌え僕の名のゆえぐい出番だよ。歌い
裁きの雷、稲光、すなわち永遠なり。やってはっ
カジャーン。世界の熱狂の渦に。動かないでね。
無意味な抵抗をこの身で万象を粛清する。はっか対価を断つ。
見切りました。
はっ光り輝くがいい。せーの。
ここより弱滅の時。逃げ道はありません。はってふんはっやったせっやっぱり邪魔をするな。
風よ風の中雲の行くごと。
我が剣よ影に従え。手をつなぎましょう。
しっかり立ってな。
瞬く間に全部丸見えね。
おとなしくしな。
風よお道を散らまく惜しみ。
行け。えっ
それそこだ。
覚えたわよ。知識はあなたにも逃がさない。瞬く間に手をつなぎましょう。
はっはっ風の中雲の行くごと。
役払い邪魔をするな。
行け。健康よ世の乱れを切り尽くせ。はっ痛くしちゃうと。
せいそこだ。
しっかり立ってな。
風よはっお道を散ら。
瞬く間にはっふっ我が剣よ影に従え。全部丸見えね。
役払い嫌い発情。
はっつ雲がく借りなく時。
陣営のごとく。手をつなぎましょう。逃がさない。はっふふ私のお家にいら。
私を怒らせてじゃあ
舞はっ風の中雲の行くごと。
全部丸見えね。瞬く間に我が剣よ影に従え。はっはっはっ 候よ、世の乱れを切り尽くせ。
雲が借りなく時
神戸を垂れろ。
はっせい、そこだ。
歌え、僕の胸元に。
静粛に。高き私は下げず。騒ぐ
いざ参る。風の歌、雲の意。
光り輝くがいい。ソーランの憩い。
静粛に。討伐となるがいい。
はっそれはっ。お道だ。散らまく惜しみ。
僕を称えよ。世界を熱狂のあれ狂いなさい。はっはっ
これ参る。はっはっ。
騒ぐな。
せいそよ。風の歌、雲の行くごと。
じゃじゃーん。光り輝くがいい。ご安心を。
いやした
く惜しみ
世界の熱狂の渦に僕を海のちぎりよ。はっ
はっそれそっ
光り輝くがいい。お披露目だ。
参るはっ雲が借りなく時
褒美を垂れろ。
参る
ソーランの憩い。
捕まえた。糸よ、工作せよ。
おっはいチーズ。シャルロットが
入れよ、律令に従え。
失礼。
かかれ。終わりね。撤収。
雪を前へ。それ神里流消滅。やっ鉄線お願いします。
どの目が出るかしら。とふんせや
天心直送命ずる。はっだ
入れよ。
真実至上。踊りなさい。やっ取った。はっそれ失礼。
痛がっちゃいない。糸よ、工作せよ。
ポーズお願いします。とせっふっそれはっ桜吹雪。
命ずる。連気過信。表層よ、決し
踊りなさい。特ダネよ。はいチーズ。はっ
かかれ。終わりね。撤収。とふっやっほっはっと急がなくてもいいのよ。
失礼。神里流消滅。
魂
Hello, how's it going? Just doing the new, well, not really new event, but the event's finally completed. Or at least they have all the shit, so I might as well get it done. Oops, shit, should have done that first. Wow, Chow is absolute dog shit as a main DPS. Nope, you can't help me at all.
はありません。ここより弱滅の時。はったっふんてっはっしっふんかかれた急がなくて終わりね撤収ほっ稲光すなわち永遠なりはっやっ
ふふ行きましょう。はっへい痛がっちゃいない。
見切りました。無我の境地てっふんはっ糸よ工作せよ。逃げ道はありません。てっせっふっふっ稲光すなわち永遠なり。
Nope, not interested.
渚のリン
助立ち参上。
最後の警告だ。投降しろ。よっつぶったやっつぶっはっはっ貫こう
よっそれ5時の炎。
嫌いパッチョしっかり立ってな。動くな。法の裁きを受けて。はっふっとつぶっふっととやっさふっはっ
炎の盾俺が守るよ。
邪魔をするな。
はっやっはっさふっはっはっ却下する。
それ
武器を捨てろ。投降しろ。
5時の炎。
嫌いパッチョ
続きといこう。よっとやっふっつぶっはっ月のように永遠な権限。
渚のリンはっ最後の警告だ。よっ
はっふっさふっやっせいはっつぶっふっ
これは必要な武力。
炎 は守るよ。
邪魔をするな。
いやつぶと貫こ
火に気をつけろ。
う落ちるはっいやつぶとさつぶいやさここより登ると
見切りました。捕まえた。終わりね。裁きの雷無我の境地。ふって糸よ工作せよ。捕まえた。花火におっとそりゃやっ逃げ道はあります。さあご助力を。ここより弱滅の時。やっふっかふんふっ終わりね。裁きの雷稲光すなわち永遠なり。はっはっふん糸よ工作せよ。と痛がっちゃいない。気ぃつけるで。おっとはあふっそりゃへっへっはあせっへったまや見切りました。捕まえた。どの目が出るかね。ここより弱滅の時。そこてっはっはっせい逃げ道はありません。火の用心やっせっふっへっへいやせっやっえい痛がっちゃいない。はっ見切りました。無我の境地。てっふっとたっふっへっせっ
Darn, so close to 10,000.
創世血人破竹のごとす。
嫌いパッチョ。
俺様に任せろ。はっそりゃと冥王形成。お前の出番だぜ。どりゃだ強行先生こちせ。
しっかり立ってな。
はっ器用のおとりだ。そりゃあらよっ異形を見届けよ。疑似妖怪
役払い。
血人抱きやがれとよっそれ鬼の狂気乱舞はっはっやっはっ俺につけ冥王形成。
しっかり立ってな。邪魔をするな。
俺様に任せろ。どうやよっお前の出番だぜ。よっよっ異形を見届ける。先生こちせガン闘牛鬼の狂気乱舞はっこいったはっ今こそ誕生の時だ。
渚のリン嫌いパッチョ。
破竹のごとす。お前の出番だぜ。あらよっ創世の術異形を見届けよ。強行と
役払い。とや
ガン闘牛器用のおとりだ。よっそれ疑似妖怪と酒。
God damn, Arataki Ito sucks so many balls. He just sucks so much. He just feels so fucking weak, no matter how I play him.
ローズクラッカー。
行こう。はっ雲が借りなく時そこだ。
そこ先生お願いします。どうぞ不意打ち。いやファッション私が定義する。これって330？はっ
マイ風の歌雲の
打ち続けて。
風よ。
いやはいチーズシャルロット。紅に染まって散りなさい。気をつけなさい。避けられる？いやあと何発でしょう。おっと
お道は知らん。
ファイヤーな意外に先生お願いします。どうぞ冬そこ絹のような要素。真実しほっせはっはっ
はっ
いやはいチーズ。
そう雲が借りなく時マイし
打ち続けて。あと何発でしょう。ポーズお願いします。それシャルロットが
はっそれそこだ。
はっファッション私が定義する。
風よお道は散らまく惜しみ。
打ち続けて。堂々不意打ち。いや先生お願いします。
Yeah, Nadia carried that. Even that was actually kind of annoying. I probably shouldn't have done Kazuha. I did Kazuha because of the slimes in the beginning, because the swirl would be so good. But in reality, I probably needed more. I need more characters to get more to apply more elements. So, and the problem is that Charlotte can't apply elements, but she has to do it. She has to do her skill, and her skill is a cooldown. And then, of course, it only applies it to the enemy. So once the enemy's dead, so if I kill them too quickly, then I have to wait for her cooldown to come down. Not the best. Obviously, I could change the things around. If I didn't have a Kazuha, even though Kazuha really destroys the slimes the quickest, I think I need another applier. Either way, though, I'm done. I got the max rewards I can get. That's all I ever really care about. I'm not really in it for the challenge. I mean, maybe I might come back, but generally, I don't like being forced to play characters I don't like. That's kind of why I don't like.
I got the honor and privilege.
I don't like how Zenless Zone Zero is going to turn out. I don't like the fact that there are. I don't mind the fact that. I don't mind having elements on my characters. That's fine. Having elements on my characters, having elemental weaknesses. I don't like that, but I'm fine with it, right? It's just like, oh, okay, your character might be ice and they're weak to fire, but, whatever, right? You can still, if you really like that character, you can still do it. You'll have an easier time if you choose the fire character because, the enemy's weak to fire, but, you can still do what you feel like doing. But what sucks is when you get games that not only have elemental weaknesses, but elemental resistances. So elemental weakness just kind of encourages you to play a particular element. Elemental resistances discourages you from playing another one. And I don't like that. I don't like the discouraging of shit. Because now what you're doing is I can't play the character I want to play. Right? Unless I'm lucky and I'm like, oh cool, the character I want to play just the enemy happens to be weak to that, so I don't have to change anything. But it's a kind of a zero-sum game type thing, where it's just like, well, I want to play this character all the time. And you've just made situations where that will fuck me over, right? If it's purely just the elemental weaknesses, well, I don't like that still, because it's still encouraging me to play characters I don't want to play. I'm not going to say it's super bad, because it's whatever, right? Sure, if I played this element, it would be easier. Now, what I would dislike is if they tailored the battles. They're like, oh yeah, we were assuming that you were going to play this character because we're assuming that you're going to play the character that matches the type weakness. So we're gonna tune the battle according to that. So yeah, sure, if they're weak to fire and you play a fire character, you should be able to do this just barely in time, or you might have a minute of leeway, right, to beat this boss for max rewards. And if they then do... But the problem if they tune it like that, it means, well, what happens if you're not a character that has an elemental weakness, is the element that they're weak to, right? Well, if you can just barely do it for max rewards on, the character they're weak to, because they've tuned it that way, then if you try to be a character that, they're not weak to, well, with a, let's say elemental weakness is an extra 20 or 30% damage, then it's yeah, you will never be able to make max rewards if they fine-tune it just so you can barely do it with the right element, right? So I don't like that, but it depends, right? It obviously depends on how the game makers implement it. So it's possible it might not be broken, so it's not inherently bad, but it can lead to negative situations. But all resistances, all elemental resistances on enemies is just a negative experience. It's not fun. Because it's essentially saying, hey, not only might you not be able to do this in time because you don't have that weakness, but now it's going to take even longer. So not only are you just kind of getting screwed because you just want to play a character that doesn't have an advantage in the fight, but you're playing a character now that has an active disadvantage in the fight. So it's just whereas maybe if you really, really, really tried really hard and was really skillful, you might be able to overcome that elemental difference and still get max rewards. With the resistance, or you might even be able to overcome the lack of a weakness to still get max rewards. A resistance means you will never do it, no matter what. So that's why I don't like it, right? Because it's great. And especially in a game like that, which is all about fighting, You have characters that you like, playstyles that you like, because, you know, you either like the aesthetic of the character or you just like how their combat feels. It just sucks when the game developer's like, hey, we want to, because essentially it's kind of like trying to encourage you to play other characters, but like when you have elemental resistances, it's not really encouraging you, it's like threatening you. Hey, you want to succeed at this thing? Well, you have to do this, or else you will not succeed. And that's just not fun, right? It's threatening you. I mean, again, not really threatening, obviously, but like, you know, it's basically threatening you, saying, yeah, you're just not going to succeed. Because fuck you. You happen to want to play a character that doesn't have an advantage, so you're just going to be unsuccessful. So I don't like that. I don't like that idea. It's not fun. They did this in Honkai Impact 3rd, too. It didn't come into play that often, but like most of the endgame content had like arenas where it's like, oh, okay, well, you have to do this arena, and the enemy is weak to a particular element. And you just 100% could not do it at higher levels with the wrong element. Like, you just couldn't, because it was a ranking thing. It was like, okay, you're being ranked amongst 20 people, top 3 people get bonus points, or top 3 people get points to increase their rank, middle people don't get points, so they stay, and bottom people lose points, so they get kicked out. So it's a way to shuffle up and down ranks. But as you go higher and higher up, what you have to do is not only beat a few arenas, but also, so there's 4 arenas, you have to beat 3 of them, and that's just, if you beat them, you get full points. And the 4th arena is a timed battle. So it's how quickly do you beat this boss, and the amount of time remaining gets added to your points. So essentially, the top three spots of that thing are the people who beat the boss the fastest, which obviously are the strongest people, right? And so they get points and they go up, and eventually you just get to the point where it's like if you're not using a team that makes use of their elemental weakness, or at the very least avoids an elemental resistance, you just can't succeed. Like, you might not even be able to beat the ones that is just, oh, you beat these and you get full points. The first 3, where it's just beat these, you get full points. You might not be able to do that. So, like, that's the crazy thing. We're just like, yeah, you just have this thing where it wasn't fun. Like, it's not fun because, like, especially in Honkai Impact 3rd, you know, there was a lot of team synergies. It's not simply just, oh, okay, I'm this element. It's like, no, you have to have 3 characters, pretty much all of that element. Yeah, maybe you could have like a support or 2 not be the right element, but the value they add to boost your main DPS's element, or the main DPS who is the correct element, maybe, you know, that's what they did, right? So you could maybe do that for the support, but generally it was just simply, yeah, you pretty much really wanted to have all your team members of the same element. But not just that, but like some team members synergize differently, where it's like you kind of want to be able to switch team members, and to switch team members or to trigger their QTE effect, which is either them swapping themselves in or just appearing to do some damage and then, you know, leaving. They have specific triggers. So some are triggered by like the time stop from a perfect dodge. Some are triggered from like getting applying an element to an enemy. Like if you get them burning or frozen, that could trigger a QTE. So it's not even simply just, oh, well, I'll just level up 3 ice elements. There we go. It's like, no, you have some level of synergy, because those QTEs do a lot of damage or do a lot of bonus effects that really just like make or break, you know, these speed runs, which is kind of what this in-game content was all about. So it just kind of sucks, because it's not just, oh, just get 3 ice characters, you're good. Like in Genshin, for the most part, you could kind of, it's the elemental reaction that matters the most. So it's like, it's not even just about, it's much less about the enemy you're fighting to some degree. Like obviously, if you're fighting a Hydro Slime, yes, don't bring water. Your mono water team's going to do poorly against that. So there are some things, but like, yeah, sure, you just don't bring water against the Hydro Slime, but you can bring any other element. You know, you could bring fire, you could bring ice, you could do whatever. You have so many choices, and the only thing is just a slight, oh, okay, of these 7 elements, you can't pick one of them, because it's immune, or resistant, which is fine. Like, Honkai Impact Third, it was like, since it's all about, like, it's more about action combat, it's more about skill and shit, and there's only 4 elements. Lightning, ice, fire, I guess technically physical still, although it's physical, and quantum. And not even just that, it was like there was also kind of rock, paper, scissors of enemy types. So your characters could either be psychic, human, or robot. And I think it was human. Human has an advantage against psychic. Psychic has an advantage against robot. Robot has an advantage against human. So you just do slightly more damage to, that rock, paper, scissors style shift, right? And then quantum and imaginary are separate from that. So they don't get those bonuses, but they also aren't affected. So you're not going to be, they're not strong against anything, but they're not weak against anything. So it's like, you had to do that. So it's like, so you actually have to like see what your enemy is. Like, oh, okay, it's a fire element. Okay, well, they're going to be resistant to fire. So I better bring, and they're weak to ice, so I better bring ice. And also they're human, so I better bring, if I have an ice robot, let's see, type character, let's bring in that. So it's like, and at least for that, it's more about the element than it is about the type. Because I don't think you do less damage if you're weak to them. They obviously do more damage to you, but I don't think you do less to them. But the elemental resistance does still work. So it is still like, for elements, you might not be weak. They might not be weak to your element, but they could also be resistant. So it's not even just that they're not weak, but they also could be resistant. So so it was rough. It was not fun because because I had a really good ice team in Honkai Impact Third. I really liked the playstyle. It was a lot of fun. I was able to do really well in these in those ranked end game type things. But that was only 1/3 of the fights we fought, right? Sometimes they'd be resistant to ice, so I couldn't use them, or else I would just not succeed, and that was the whole point of doing this. So I'd have to do other teams. So ice was my favorite. I had a good electric team too. I think I had a good synergy. I was able to kind of get the playstyle down for my electric team, but I just absolutely hated fire. Like, I just didn't have any characters in fire that I was good at. I didn't really like the playstyle of anyone in fire. I didn't really get the synergies between the characters in fire. So it was just not fun. Like, there was a lot more characters in ice that I liked and enjoyed the playstyle of. There's less, but still a few in electric that I was fine with. A few physical ones too, but the physical teams kind of just suck. You really need to be able to, like, they don't have some might be resistant, but usually there weren't as many with resistances, but they just weren't that strong to begin with. Kind of like Genshin in that sense. We don't really see many physical teams in Genshin. But I was just bad at fire. I just did not like it. So anytime there was one of those weekly things where it's like, shit, in your 4 arena battles, they're all weak to fire and resistant to ice, then you're just like, well, fuck. Now I have to play a team that I don't really like, and I don't really have fun doing. And I can't do the team. Like, I actively can't because even this team that I suck at, that I don't really like playing, still is quicker and faster and easier than trying to force my ice team in. Because they would just do so much less damage that it was annoying. So it's just shit like that. And you might be like, well, why you bring up Honkai Impact Third? It's like, well, because Zenless Zone Zero has already started to look like that. It's because you have elemental types for every character. And I've seen a few arenas where it's just like, hey, this is weak to this element. And in the beta, I was relatively lucky. I got one of my beginner 5 stars was an ice type. And luckily, a lot of early arenas, a lot of early fights have enemies that are weak to ice. So I'm lucking out. But I've already seen, going into certain fights, certain instance battles, that they say, oh, weakness is ice, resistance is fire. And I'm like, fuck. That's going to suck. Because that's just going to happen. It's just going to happen where it's like, you might be lucky now where you're fighting enemies that are weak to the element of your strongest and strongest character that you'll enjoy playing the most. But eventually you're going to fight a boss that's going to be resistant to ice, and you're going to have to use another team. It's kind of like in Genshin too. Even in Genshin, like in the combat event we just did, so I did the worst in. I did pretty bad in this one. Okay, so this one was the first and last were a very good example. First one, it's all about swirl. Well, the problem with this one is that it's all about swirl, so you are encouraged to use Zhao and Wanderer. I don't have either of those characters, so I don't know how to play them, you know? But in this, they give you them as a trial. It's like, cool, awesome, I can use them as a trial. But, like, I've never played them. I don't know their playstyle. I don't know who synergizes well with them. I don't know the timing for any of their shit. So, you know, not fun. Not fun to play these characters I'm not familiar with, you know, getting screwed around and shit like that, right? So not as much fun. Same for this. Now, it's all about crystallized. So they give you, for trials, Arataki Ito and Navia. And Navia I like. And that's the only reason why I got this many points, is because Navia's side carried everything. Ito just sucks. I have no clue how to, like, maximize his damage, and he feels like he just hits like a wet noodle. He just feels so ridiculously weak. And obviously that means I must be playing him wrong, right? Because, like, there's no way he could be that bad. There has to be something that I'm missing. But every time I've played him, and they've given me him as a free trial, he just feels so fucking weak. So, but I just don't know, right? And that's the kind of sucky thing, is that when you have these times where it's just like, shit, you're going to have those moments where they sometimes are like encouraging you to be like, hey, cool, we have this new character out. They're a fire type. So the enemies you're going to fight this week or this 2 weeks and for endgame content are going to be weak to fire and resistant to ice. But your strongest characters and your favorite characters are ice, right? You're just going to, it'll suck. And so even if you don't pull on the new character, you're like, well, fine, I'll just use these fire characters. But, like, maybe you haven't built them, or maybe you just happen to build them. They were built, but, like, you've never played them, so you don't know their playstyle. You don't know how they synergize with other characters. Shit like that. You'll not only will you just won't have fun, because you'll feel like you're just so weak, because you know how you feel when you're using the teams that you're good at. And so when you're fighting with these characters you're not familiar with, not surprisingly, you're just not going to be as good at that, but, like, you're obviously going to be subconsciously comparing yourself to how you feel when you're with the team you like. And so you're just going to be subconsciously not enjoying yourself as much, because you'll be like, God damn, this is taking me like twice as long if I was my other characters. And if you bring in your other characters, it'll take as long, or maybe even longer, because the bad pair up for elemental weaknesses, right? And resistances. So it's just like, it just feels like shit. It's fine, because that's the thing, is that when it lines up and you're an element that the enemy is weak to, you don't notice it. You know, you don't notice a huge difference. Or if you do, you attribute it to your skill. Oh, no worries. The reason why I did so well and so I beat that boss so quickly is because I'm really skilled. Because you don't know the numbers. You don't know, oh, actually, it took a minute less time because I'm doing 30% more damage. You're not noticing it, right? You're not even, like, logging the time it took, so, you know, shit like that. But then when you bring in that same team to an enemy that's resistant, now you're really noticing, and god damn, like, well, this has been like a 5-minute battle. Like, all my battles have only taken 2 minutes before, or 3 minutes. It just feels like it's taking so long. It feels like shit, and that's what you notice first. It just feels like it's taking a long time. It feels less fun. And that's the problem with, you know, resistances. Is it just encourages you, like, weaknesses encourage you to play characters you don't want to, but you don't have to. You can still play the characters you want. Resistances are like, no, you can't play the characters you want anymore. You play the characters we tell you to play, type thing. And so not only does that feel bad, but then when you're playing these characters you're not familiar with, you're just not going to be performing as well. And so it'll feel like shit. Even if you end up taking, you know, less time than you would have with the team you like, because of the type weakness. You know, even if it does take less time overall, the experience feels like shit. So that's why I'm not going to be playing Zenless Zone Zero, because I got to level 20, and then I started seeing the resistances for the enemy instance battle thing. I'm like, oh, nah, I don't want to do this. Like, that's not fun. Well, also, they're forcing me to. I was playing on PC, and I have to use mouse and keyboard, and I absolutely fucking hate movement on mouse and keyboard. I just absolutely fucking hate it. I hate it. movement on WASD sucks so many balls. Like, it's just so inconvenient and uncomfortable to have your fingers stuck on those 4 keys to constantly move and constantly having to be pressing down on those keys to move. It just feels like shit. I hate it. So that obviously didn't help. But yeah, I got to level 20. Battles started getting harder. Started opening up more of like the, like you kind of started opening up more of the content. So I was kind of getting a better feel for how the end game loop would be. And there's this one kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like, I think it was something that was going to be this, like something like the Spiral Abyss. But God, it just took so long. Like you had to go down this long corridor fighting, not even like long corridor, but like a meandering path through a bunch of, through a map. But it was like, essentially, it was a linear path. It was like, you start here, you go here, fighting monsters along the way. And it felt like it took too long. It just felt like it took too long, too many battles, especially because up to that point, it was like lots of just like usually 2 double battle pairs. Like you get into an instant combat thing, and it's like, oh, okay, you fight a bunch of mobs in this one room, move to the next room, fight a bunch of mobs. Okay, you're done, right? Or story, because it was basically kind of like as many battles as maybe like a story chapter or a story arena, except with no story for it. It was just like, okay, just continue going forward, fight these things. Okay, keep going forward, fight these things. Rewards feel like shit. And I think you only get the rewards at the end too, so it's like, yeah, you don't feel, it just feels like it just dragged on too long. Now, I think that was the beginning part, so maybe once you get to the end, it becomes more like Spiral Abyss, where it's just like, okay, now you just go into the final boss arenas to fight these bosses or waves of enemies on a timer or something like that, maybe. But I also starting to see the elemental resistances appear on the instant combat missions, and I'm like, oh. Well, I mean, and even still, like, the ones I was seeing was still weak to ice, and ice was my main guy. But the fact that I saw that there were resistances, I'm just like, fuck that. Because I know how that's going to be. Like, it's just going to suck. It is just not fun. No one likes resistances. They're just not fun to do. So, anyway, that is my rant. Ended up walking for longer than I was expecting. But, I mean, I don't mean to discourage people who want to play Zenless Zen Zero. And overall, like, it is a little better than Honkai Impact 3rd in the sense that it doesn't seem that combat is as complicated. Now, again, this is at the beginning, and Honkai Impact 3rd is relatively simple at the beginning too, and just get more complicated as time progressed, and they had to like change things up and make things more interesting and give you more incentive to play new characters and buy new characters. So I do get that. But it does feel like it is to feel better and more simplistic to switch characters. Like in Honkai Impact 3rd, there was always specific triggers. It was like, oh, you had to trigger a specific element. You had to dodge a perfect way. You had to do this. So it just became much more complicated and confusing to like line these things up, and just made it more complicated to pair up allies, because you were like, well, okay, but you have to be able to trigger this. You have to be able to trigger these swaps and these QTE. So we need you to be with these characters. You can't really be with these characters because it's harder to line up their QTEs, or their QTE just doesn't match up with what you bring to the table. So it was a little more restrictive on your party composition. And in Zenless Zen Zero, it's really easy to swap characters. It is really easy to swap, because it's like essentially, if you ever see them glow orange, if you press spacebar, you'll do a character swap, parry or dodge. And you can pick which character you're going to swap with. So you can kind of get a nice little combo going, and it's much easier to swap. So it's not reliant on any particular effect, but you can trigger it essentially manually, kind of like dodging enemy attacks. In fact, you can just swap whenever. Like you can always press spacebar to swap immediately, I think. So anyway, but I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all next time.